Hey guys, it's Roxie with Roxie's Broadway Breakdown. Welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about auditioning for cruise lines. This is something that I had never really thought about because I tend to get really seasick. The couple of times I've been on boats, it did not go well for me. But a cousin of mine just got back from a cruise and she was talking about, oh yeah, we had so much fun and the musicals we saw, and I was like, what musicals? I guess I had no idea the kind of entertainment on cruise lines these days. Maybe I still thought that it was just kind of full of lounge singer acts. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but maybe that was unfair of me to think that. But yes, Royal Caribbean, Viking, Norwegian, Disney, Holland America, they all have their very big, large-scale entertainment productions. They do musicals and other kinds of shows that they produce depending on their audience. That makes sense. And production companies out of New York and LA and London and Vegas, and they all have casting agents they use, and they're looking for well-rounded performers that, you know, have to be, it's more than just, you know, like one show you're auditioning for. So, and that makes sense because if they're doing, you know, almost like a season of musicals aboard a ship, you know, one person isn't just going to be one part. They're going to have to fill several different parts. So they're looking for not just singer, dancer, actors, but they're looking for, you know, tech and DJs and sometimes aerialists, people that do harness work or puppetry, or sometimes divers or synchronized swimmers or Olympic gymnasts or ice skaters. I mean, not that you have to do all those things, but you definitely have to be a well-rounded performer, and the more you can do and the more special skills you have, you know, the better chance you have of being hired. So if you're interested in ever going on a cruise and being hired for performer, pay attention. So to to audition for one of these things, they want you, it's not just like a one and done show. You can't just take in like one song and be given one dance combination. You've got to take in several different songs because they want to see that you have a really wide range, and you've got to sing in different genres like R&B and pop and rock and, you know, blues, and because not only do you have to sing for different musicals, but they might, you know, they're looking for performers in even different nightclubs on the ship, and, you know, just where to put you, because they can only take a certain amount of entertainers on board. So it's kind of like a big puzzle where to put everybody. And as for dancers, same thing. You have to do different kind of genres. So they're looking for people in really strong technique, that have very strong technique, that can fill different kind of genres, everything from ballroom to lyrical to contemporary to hip-hop to jazz funk to obviously musical theater. And so people have to be very versatile and adapt. And like I say, if you have extra skills, that's all the better. So you're gonna have to be given, be prepared for multiple dance combinations. The audition process is fairly rigorous for these cruise liners. And, you know, once on board, flexibility is key. You know, learning to adapt is key. And they're looking for people with very high energy and be very dynamic, because you have to be very personable. It is life on board a ship. And it's not like when you're in a show where, you know, at the end of the night, audience goes home, you go home. No, you're going to be living with these people for days, weeks, however long the cruise is. And so you're going to have to be very personable with the guests and talk to them and live among them. So not that theater people have any trouble being personable, but it is a little bit different that you're going to be living with your audience. And then there's just life on board a ship. You know, sometimes these contracts are, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 months at a time, or longer. I mean, whatever the cruise line is, you know, normal for them. And it's getting used to life on board a ship. And while sometimes it may be appealing that you get to travel the world and see the world, but it is a bit different, you know, being on a ship for that long. And so you have to weigh the pros and cons, but it might also look really good on your resume that you know, were able to have that sort of in your background, that you had that kind of versatility and were able to do all these things, and, you know, did all those kinds of shows on board a ship. So, you know, weighing the pros and cons of that kind of thing. Something I got to thinking about, maybe again it's my seasickness, but as a dancer, I thought my center of gravity, you'd have to get used to the motion of the ocean when performing. You know, I mean, it's a huge cruise liner, so it couldn't be that much moving, but you would have to get used to a stage moving. I mean, just your center of gravity when you turn and whatnot, I would think that would be something you'd have to get used to. But that's just a side note. That's just a side note that I was thinking about. So anyway, there you go. If you ever thought to do that, just, you know, go to one of the cruise liners' call board and see when their next auditions are, and there you go. Sign up. Try auditioning for one. You know, like I say, may look really good on your resume. All right. Don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.